Si Dieu n'existait pas, il faudrait l'inventer. If God did not exist, it would be necessary to invent him. Voltaire. Voltaire's famous witticism has more prophetic truth in it than one might at first suspect. Arguably, many religious ideas that are proffered have no empiric referent, and yet serve as metaphysical beliefs that provide hope, solace, and different ways of viewing and understanding the world we inhabit. Some philosophies, however, have long desired to make spirituality a living reality here and now, and not merely speculations of unfulfilled wants and desires. Sri Aurobindo, for instance, argued that the world can evolve and become a new world with new species, far above the human species, just as human species have evolved after the animal species. As such, he argued that the end goal of spiritual practice could not merely be a liberation from the world into samadhi, but would also be that of descent of the divine into the world in order to transform it into a divine existence. Thus, this constituted the purpose of integral yoga. Michael Murphy, who co-founded Esalen in 1962, followed Sri Aurobindo's dictum and wanted to see how our species could evolve and transcend to a higher level of consciousness by maximizing, and in some cases exceeding, the human body's inherent potential. In his magisterial 1992 text, The Future of the Body, Explorations into the Further Evolution of Human Nature, Murphy provides a comprehensive investigation into the vast potential of the human body and mind. Murphy meticulously catalogues and analyzes a wide range of phenomena that suggest humans have capacities far beyond what is currently accepted as normal. Ken Wilber, in his earlier books, suggested that the next level beyond the rationality would be the psychic, ushering in an expanded level of cognition that supervenes the merely individualistic. We can, in essence, become aware of a nested network of information that was previously hidden from view. With the advent of artificial intelligence, virtual reality technologies, and quantum computers, we are now on the threshold of empiricizing some key astral ideas that in the past seemed unimaginable. As I wrote in the Avatar project back in October 2015, if consciousness evolved as a virtual simulator to help us better in-source varying survival strategies before outsourcing them, we can readily see that humans have now progressed to the point where we can actualize our imaginings in a real world. Simply put, our technology has finally caught up with our dreams so that we can consciously inhabit what we could only before imagine. This came into sharper relief this past week when I watched Lex Fridman's podcast with Mark Zuckerberg, where both interacted with photorealistic renditions of themselves in virtual reality. Instead of cartoonish avatars talking to one another, it appeared as if Fridman's and Zuckerberg's perfectly replicated doppelgangers were in direct contact. It was both remarkable and unnerving. As Lex Fridman explained, "This was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. It really felt like we were talking in person, but we were miles apart. It's hard to put into words how awesome this was for someone like me who values the intimacy of in-person conversation. It gave me a glimpse of an exciting future, with many new possibilities and fascinating questions about the nature of reality and human connection." I have been involved with virtual reality since I first demoed a VR headset in England in the winter of 1993 when I was teaching at the University of London. For the past 2 years here at Mount San Antonio College, I have taught courses in virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and philosophy, where each student in the class is given a free Oculus Quest 2 headset and where we meet weekly in the metaverse. It has been an eye-opening experience and has provided me with a deeper glimpse into how the digital and real world can interslice in what has become colloquially known as mixed reality. Surprisingly, much of this futuristic technology has been presaged by several yogic traditions, though not in the hardware-software terminology we use today. Instead, these mystical orientations tend to use more abstract and mythological explanations for erstwhile superluminal phenomena. What is truly striking, though, is how many of these spiritual ideologies have physicalist correlatives that are being instantiated with the latest advancements in technology. This past week, when I was on my annual surf trip with my childhood friends at shipwrecks in Kauai, we discussed the interface between spirituality and AI, and how it may transform conventional religion from a mere set of beliefs into an experiential science. I mentioned how my wife, Professor Andrea Deem, had given a plenary Zoom talk on this very subject at the Dalebagh Educational Conference on Consciousness in Agra, India. Her thesis was bold and met with some initial resistance from certain quarters. The future of meditation can be based more on a scientific understanding and less on an outdated mythological one. The Tibetan cave of tomorrow can be constructed instantaneously with a VR and/or AR, and each of us can have our spiritual teachers guiding us, even if they are wearing purely technological garb. While it would be a fundamental error to confuse such an astral projection with a digitally reconstructed avatar, the fact remains that AI and VR/AR can reproduce one's own beloved Ishtadevata in such a way as to make one feel as if their teacher is right there with them. These can be likened to the most realistic Murtis ever fashioned, but with such lifelike animations and responsive databases that they transcend any material representations. To be sure, these digitized manifestations are not yet substituting for living human teachers, but they are remarkable tools for spiritual instruction. At the time of Andrea's talk, I wasn't quite sure how long it would take for the metaverse to produce lifelike digital Murtis of our beloved Ishtadevatas. But after watching Friedman's podcast, it became exceedingly clear to me that the time has already arrived, and that we were welcoming a whole new way of being.